Welcome to Perfect Organism, the Alien Saga podcast. I'm your host, Jaime Prater, and I'm joined by
Patrick. What is up, everybody?
And here we are, close to New Year's Eve 2018, almost ready for 2019. And we thought we'd release one last episode, our 100th episode. And just to say hello and just talk about some things that we've seen, some things that might be coming up, and what's on our mind. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's a crazy time. There's a lot of activity going on in alien fandom, and I don't think I would have expected this. You know, if we'd been talking earlier in the year about what we would be doing on December 29th, 2018 as alien fans, I don't think it would have been trying to keep up with the news cycle because there's been so much lately.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, we all knew that stuff was coming in 2019. I don't think that we knew that there would be this much momentum going into it. I mean, you look back at the last couple of months between all these developments about the series, about this alien blackout business, and now coming up with this dossier, which I know we're going to talk about, announcements about book deals. There's just so much happening. The Gibson comics, which are now issue 3 about to come out.
Yeah.
We still have Dust to Dust going on. There's just a shitload happening. The Resurrection line from NECA that just came out.
Yeah,
we got
that's crazy.
Gingerbread houses. There's so much going on in alien fandom right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I want to know who owns. So they're having these contracts made with NECA, so NECA's producing these toys. What's up? You know,
what's up?
They don't do this for no reason. They don't. This is build up. This is build up to now.
Well,
I know that
NECA does. They do put out they're on like series 14 or something of their alien stuff. Like they do put out a lot. You know, let's be fair.
That's true, but I'm just saying, the Resurrection toys are a reissue. They're like a what do you call it? It's like an encore of Resurrection. Like there's no real reason for them to have made them. It's not like Resurrection's a good film.
Maybe it's because they were, listening to Perfect Organism, the Alien Saga podcast, and they were like, "Well, this series is fucking great. Let's make some."
Yeah.
I'm sure that's.
I'm sure.
I'm not. There's like a little part of me that's like.
Yeah. Me too.
Somebody.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think, and we were just talking about this off the air.
Mm-hmm.
What's Ridley Scott been doing? I am of the opinion that Ridley Scott had a small budget and he was able to finish his prequel trilogy. Maybe that sounds ridiculous. I know you probably disagree.
You're out of your fucking mind.
I could be very well. And I think it's part of me hoping that we get some type of film. And maybe we're going to get a series announcement soon. I don't know. I don't want an animated series at all. I don't want an animated series. Let's just put that in writing. I know you do.
We've been talking. We will get to this.
Okay.
I've had a revelation, Jamie. I've had a Jamie moment. I've had a revelation.
Oh my God.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But the first thing is, this is our 100th episode of Perfect Organism, the Alien Saga podcast. So there's just kind of a lot to be grateful for. End of the year, you're always kind of talking about where you've come from, where you've been. The show's kind of been on a really great trajectory in the past year and a half since Covenant came out. Really just kind of changed everything for us. Patrick came aboard over a year and a half ago. And it's just great to be in this position where we've done 100 episodes of
that
this.
Is so many episodes.
I know.
My first appearance was 59. And I know that because somebody is going through and listening from the very beginning, and they're at 58 right now. Wow. And I was like, oh shit, they're about to get a dose of my annoying voice in their headphones, and then they'll decide whether or not they want to keep listening to it.
That's crazy. You came on in 59. That's almost half. We've done since 2017. We've done 40 episodes.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
And we're going into 2019 with so many episodes that we're already ready to roll on. Look, we have a big Queen Roundtable Part 2 coming up.
That round 2 is called Yas Queen. I'm kidding. I hate that term.
I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is. And I will say, Alien Day 2018 was part of. What did we do? 15 episodes that day?
It's like a couple thousand.
Oh my God, that was.
There were so many fucking t-shirts. Holy shit.
Oh my God, I got a great idea.
Those are still available, by the way, people.
They are.
Some of those look fucking great, and I'm like, you know what? like the final one we did was that like pink and blue James Cameron variant of the photo you took.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one person, it might have been my mom, bought that. I don't think anybody else. And you know what? That's still available on our website.
I have a
Become
great
patron,
idea for a new T-shirt right
20%
now.
off.
Oh my
Oh, do you
god, I
really?
can't. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna say it right here on the air.
Oh,
It's
I'm gonna
pretty
get the
awesome.
inside scoop on this later.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you when we're done.
Okay.
It's awesome. And it's not of an alien, or an egg, or a facehugger.
What is?
I'm not telling you. I'll tell you off the air. You gotta wait, people. Maybe wait till Alien Day. No, maybe not. But really, it's just a great. It's really, it's humbling for me to be a part of fandom. You know, and to represent myself, obviously, and the show, and Connor, and Sean, and Clara, and Mike, and everyone who's been a part of the show, our extended family, like Dave Gogol. It's just
Michael.
And Michael, yes. It's just been really great. It's been a great journey. We're in the halfway point of 40 Miles of Bad Road, so that's exciting as well.
Well, you know, I mean, we say it's the halfway point, but we keep adding episodes. We
Oh, I
just
know.
added an episode right before we recorded. We're like, oh shit, we should do this. So
June of 2019, we're still in 40 Miles of Bad
we're
Road.
still halfway through 40 miles.
Actually, we got to kind of finish up because
We do.
2019 is really the 40-year anniversary. So we'll probably finish up, hopefully in February. We have to.
Sometimes by September, I think we'll be
Yeah.
done, and then we're. There's so much shit coming up for Alien in this 40th anniversary, and I do think that it is no accident that we're seeing such a ramp up in activity because obviously, and even if you look just at something that's as simple as the Alien Anthology page on Facebook and Instagram, they have been posting so regularly.
Yes.
You know? And we've commented on this before about how it just seemed like 4 months ago or so they just kind of picked up this pace of doing something every other day. But now it's like everybody's birthday has a post, like they're doing what the fan pages do. They're doing what we do,
Yeah, absolutely.
Where they're really engaging with the community and they're putting out more competitions. And now they just did this dossier thing, which I think, when it first came out, and this just to clarify for people, this was about a week and a half ago. They released in the span of, I think, 2 days, these 6 little kind of motion comic graphic things that had little blurbs about this nefarious Weyland-Yutani situation, which we won't give away. You can read them.
Mm-hmm.
But the spoiler alert is that it ends the way you kind of assume it would end. But
Mm-hmm.
they're really cool.
Yeah, they're very interesting.
They obviously put a lot of time into that. Like that's not like a one and done thing. Like they hired a couple artists and some people to work on that, and they had a little budget set aside for it, and it's just for social media, and it makes you wonder, why would they do that? Yeah. What are they doing with that?
And what are they doing with it? Where's the Alien IP? Who owns the Alien IP now? I don't.
Why Alien IP?
No. Yeah, you do. Maybe Perfect Organism owns the Alien IP.
We own the Alien IP. Somebody owns it. I don't know.
We're bringing Ripley back, fuckers.
Hideo Kojima. Like seriously, like who fucking owns Alien right now?
Yeah. I don't know if 20th Century Fox. Well,
we got to go back. Hang on. We're gonna because you said, hang on. I'm not gonna let you fucking get away with this. You said that you have a theory that Ridley Scott has wrapped.
Yes.
The 3rd prequel film.
Yes. Or a short or something to wrap up. Maybe it's an hour long. Maybe it's a 2-part series.
Where are you getting this from?
I don't know. Something is telling me in my heart that
That's your source heart.
Something like he's been way too quiet. He has been Ridley Scott is not a quiet man. Ridley Scott talks a lot. Ridley Scott tells what's going on. I'm working on this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. We have not heard from him about what we've heard. Oh, yes, he's going to be involved in this project for Disney and blah, 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 blah. Most of the time, Ridley Scott will make an appearance. I'm working on this. We'll see a report somewhere. Ridley Scott's over here working. It's been over a year since, it's probably been a year and a half. Wait a minute. Yes, it's been a year and a half since All the Money in the World wrapped. And they had to go back and do some
reshoot. A year and a half since that?
Yeah, because he shot All the Money in the World
in 2017.
In 2017, right? Yeah. Right after Alien Covenant.
Right.
It's just my suspicion that Ridley Scott has been working on an Alien product.
Okay,
that's just my suspicion. Am I completely wrong? Could I be? Absolutely. That's what my gut's telling me.
I mean, he might not have been talking about it. He's doing his King Arthur shit. He's doing this science fiction anthology series or whatever it is.
He's
He
producing it.
he's producing. Yeah, he's Scott Free's producing things left and right. He's doing things. He's not talking about it. I do
Which
agree
is
with.
not normal for
Yeah,
him. He
that's not
talks
normal.
about everything.
Normally he can't shut his ass.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like maybe part of that is blowback to the whirlwind of bad publicity that he was doing in late 2017, which was right around the time of the Disney merger. And I'm gonna take a little jump, and I'm gonna say that his reticence might be somehow related to properties tied up with the Disney merger, and him being not under a gag order, but under some sort of a, hey, can you back off from publicity a little bit while we sort out some things.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been very quiet. I definitely
Yes.
would.
And
But he's
that,
been working on things. I
yes,
think.
I don't
Okay.
disagree that he's been working on things. He's been, I don't want to say irregularly quiet because that word doesn't make sense. What's the term I'm looking for? He's been not uncharacteristically quiet for Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And what my gut says is that he's been doing something alien related. That's just what my gut says.
Okay, there's a big difference between something alien related and filming the third prequel film. Let's be clear. I feel like this is what we were saying before we recorded. There was so much awareness in the fan community of what was going on with the post-Covenant situation, and when they were going to Sydney, and when they were in pre-production on things, and that there was the script that was leaked and all these things. There's a lot of things that were going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is in 2017. And then there was pretty definitive word from people associated with the production that it was not happening,
mm-hmm.
and that people had been sent home.
Yeah.
So we kind of jumped ship at that point and assumed that was the full story. If there's more to it than that, then they are doing one of the great jobs of this century in keeping it under wraps, considering what a shit job they're doing at keeping other things under wraps.
It's possible because look at the new Star Wars film, Episode 9. There's been a couple of leaks here and there. Essentially nothing. We know nothing. There was talk, there might be a trailer on Christmas Day. Of course, there was nothing. It was bullshit. There was talk that the title might be Son of Darkness, which I think would be a great Star Wars title. Of course, it's probably not true. I think it's possible. Like, again, my all-time favorite property, Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, fucking nothing leaked. I mean, I've seen some things because I shouldn't have, and people shouldn't have shown me what they did, but that's the only way that I saw anything. Fucking nothing has leaked from that. It's possible.
But is there any question that it's happening?
Well, no, there was a formal announcement.
Is there any question that Episode 9 is happening?
No. There's no question.
So that's a Blue Harvest situation. Listen,
no, but here
these are different. No, there's an IMDb page set up. There's shit on Wikipedia about it. There is nothing.
Here's my conspiracy theory, or I suspect that Fox, as they're kind of shuttling whatever is going to happen, their merger, which they said is going to be done by the end of February or by February, Fox might have said to Ridley Scott, here's $50 million. And in that, you can finish it. You're going to have to make a very small film. It's going to have to be quiet. We're not going to publicize this film. Because if you look at the larger picture here, of how they publicized Prometheus, and, it was just, I mean, the fanfare for Prometheus and Covenant, it was all over the place. I mean, you're talking short films, you're talking banners and posters and all sorts of buildup and momentum and all that. And really, even though there's some, you love Covenant or whatever, and there's been some good feedback, in terms of box office, it wasn't successful. Their plan and execution for these films wasn't successful. So they're not going to do this again. They're not going to sink, because you have a film budget, but then sometimes you have a $20 million promotional budget. Can you imagine if they drop a movie? All of a sudden, there's a trailer that's released by Fox in May. And it's in fucking Alien trailer. And we're like, holy shit, we haven't heard about it. No one's talked about it. People are under NDAs. I think it's a plausible way for them to say, okay, Ridley Scott, you're going to have to make some magic here. You're going to have to go back old school. We're going to give you a limited budget. Here's your cast. Film what you need to film. We're not going to publicize it. You're going to do it completely incognito. No one's going to talk about it. Everyone who's in part of the project has to be under an NDA. We're not going to talk about this one bit. I think that is completely plausible because the way they've done it, the last two movies have not been successful. They have lost money over and over and over and over and over. I suspect that if my theory is correct, which it couldn't be, who knows? Maybe I'm just going to be laughed at. I will say I have been invited into, and this, obviously, we've talked about this. I've been invited to a meeting at Fox next week. And it's nothing that I've done myself. I was invited to go talk to somebody at Fox about some alien stuff. I don't know what I'm going to hear. I have no idea. And I would imagine even if I do hear some things, I'll have to sign some papers to not disclose it. I don't know. My gut says something's in the works that we don't imagine. Now, maybe that's just a series. Maybe that's just, I don't know. But this is
there's
40
plenty
years.
of other things that it could be
Absolutely.
that don't have anything to do with a secretly filmed prequel film.
Just think about.
I don't know what the benefit would be to them to not publicize the fact that they're making the movie at all.
Because fans are going to be wary, and Fox is going to be wary of exciting fans again. For many of us, it's going to be like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. What's up?
So they just not talk about it? Did they
yeah. Well, think about that movie that J.J. Abrams produced that was released on Netflix. What was it called? It was related.
Paradox.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that it dropped. All of a sudden, there was a trailer. Holy shit! What the fuck? And it dropped.
And it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
So I went to Ridley Scott's IMDb page, and it is crazy the amount of shit that he is doing, regardless of whether or not he's talking about it. So for one thing, he's the executive producer on The Terror, which, as you know, is one of my favorite things on television.
We're working on a new season of that. The Terror is fucking phenomenal. You guys have to see it.
Love The Terror, and I can't wait to see where they go with the second season. I know it's going to happen. It's about internment camps, which I think is so fascinating. But he's also producing. He's producing The Aftermath. He's executive producing Jungle Land. He's executive producing Earthquake Bird. He's a producer on Liar Bird. He's a producer on Death on the Nile. Producer on Empire of the Summer Moon. Executive producing next year a Christmas Carol TV series. Was announced as the producer of War Party. He is the producer of a Potsdamer Platz movie, Gladiator 2, of course. Emma's War, Earthless, David, about David and Goliath, not David from Alien.
That's gonna suck.
The Battle of Britain. And in there, of course, are two rumored things. One of which is the Blomkamp project, which he would be producing. And
wouldn't it be some shit if they really made that movie and that dropped? I know. I pipe dream. That's all I'll say about it. Keep going.
Oh my god. And then of course the rumored Covenant sequel, which there's quite a lot of information on, which is interesting. And that says that it's in pre-production, not just an announcement.
Yeah, but also IMDb, just so everyone knows, it's sort of official, but it isn't. Anyone with an account can update that information. Sometimes there's incorrect information on there. Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, I don't know. Again, I mean, even if I find out if my assumption is true, I wouldn't be able to tell anyone except for maybe you.
Yeah, I think you'd be telling me, bitch.
But whatever the case is, this is an exciting time. We're heading into the 40th anniversary of Alien.
Yeah.
And we have a series planned out for that. It's going to be great. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things, just celebrating just this, one of the best science fiction films ever released. So I'm excited about where that series is going to go.
In 40 years, it's a long time.
I know.
I mean, that's almost as long as you've been alive.
I knew you were going to say that. I was just a wee baby. I was 3 years old when that movie released.
Just kidding. No, but that's a long. That this movie has been in the world for quite some time now. You know,
it has.
That's like it's
a shame that all the cast aren't alive for it. Only
but
what is it?
A lot of them are.
4 of them. Yeah.
And I think no matter what happens, this year is going to bring such fantastic stuff, and especially for our podcast. I mean, you look at where we've gone and what we've done. You know, and what you did with it before I got here too. Just from starting the show and the early days with Peter and Ryan and just these and Dave and Michael also coming on board. It's just amazing the fact that like basically in the wake of the Blomkamp project, that you started this thing and
4 years coming up on 4-year anniversary. Yeah,
still talking about the Blomkamp project.
I know. 4 years. So the Blomkamp thing was announced 4 years ago. So in February 11th, I think, is the 4-year anniversary of Perfect Organism, and it's great because I mean it's humbling. It's awesome. I mean, we were supported by a lot of different groups. AVP Galaxy supported us great. For a while, it was the Wayland-Yutani Bulletin. It was a great stepping stone, a way to get exposure, and we had so many people just kind of contributing to our success. So it's awesome, and we're the only a formal solo alien podcast there is. We're the biggest there is. That's an honor. It's really an honor.
It's fucking awesome.
My opinions are my own.
And there's just a community too. I was, we were talking earlier today. There was a little bit of a minor kerfluffle on one of our posts where, a couple of people were presenting kind of a dissenting viewpoint on something, and we were having a little bit of a conversation internally about that, and saying how it seems like fandom is actually in a really healthy place right now because we're back at a point where we can say things like that and not feel like we are going to be immediately pigeonholed and attacked for having an opinion, And we can have like lighthearted banter, and we can joke, and some people might be offended, but I think by and large that fandom is in a place where we're receptive to that. We're okay with other people having different viewpoints, and
And someone made a post today recommending the podcast because you can do that and score us or whatever. And they said they thanked us for our balance and for being who we are and for allowing a varying amount of opinions because we host. I mean, if anything, I'm in the minority. Me, the founder of this show, is in the minority in terms of what people like and what they don't like, which is fine. We're in a really great place. It took a lot of work, though. It took a lot of work to get to the place where we're at and to be in a place where we can share our opinions without taking it personally, and we can not be gatekeepers and not publicly stupefy or belittle or bully people.
It's taken a lot for me personally. I think probably, and for you, I won't speak for you, but probably for you too, to be able to get better at doing that. Yes. To get better at hearing a dissenting viewpoint and not kind of getting, I got to argue about it, and being like, okay, I can breathe, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And at the end,
and then laugh about it.
Being able to laugh about it. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why our Queen episode resonated with so many people. Is it was just fun, And I look forward to having a lot more. Like this next roundtable we're going to have is going to be so great. And and I would encourage anybody who thinks that we aren't necessarily doing a good job of representing different viewpoints to write into the show and let us know. Be nice about it, but let us know, and we can seek out other ways to approach issues and have other people on because we're not going to stifle our opinions on things. No,
and I would say if you're listening to a podcast, unless it's like a true crime show or something that's more news oriented, podcasts are generally opinionate people. I mean, who have opinions, who come on and talk about what they love and they don't love. Try listening to a Star Wars podcast. Talk about opinions. So we represent ourselves, and we represent varying opinions of people who belong to fandom. And if you can't handle an opinion, if you can't handle someone saying, I don't like a movie that you might like, then maybe a podcast is not for you.
But also, though, if you have a different opinion on something, write into us, and let us know and explain your viewpoint. And if it's interesting and if it presents a really fascinating counter argument, then we'll talk about it with you because there's no reason not to engage on things,
Absolutely.
But part of our conversation today was that we're not going to stifle our opinions. I do have to say that the reason why I'm on the show, which we've talked about many times, other than the fact that I was in proximity, is because I wrote in and I was one of those people who said, hey, I think you could really use a slightly different Covenant viewpoint.
Yes, this was after me and someone else tore into Covenant and
for 9 episodes, and I was like,
no,
the podcast is getting a little bit stale. Listen, guys, and and then I come on and we had a 3-hour argument that we only aired 2 hours of it, and I think that dynamic to me is one of the foundational experiences of my adult life. Yeah, I love the fact that we can talk and be honest like that, and we can still have love and respect for each other.
And what's important though to remember is even when we get to that point where we get angry. If we're hearing someone maybe shit on a film that we love, what really that is, that's how much you love it. That's how much you're invested in it. Yeah. So a lot of times you're responding like, no, I love this. I own it. It's a part of me. Right. So that's sometimes where that offense comes from. And it's just kind of balancing and repositioning where we can throw that offense and not be offended and say,
Yeah.
okay, that's their opinion. They're not meaning to offend me as a person. They're just giving their opinion. That's it.
And that we should never feel like we have to apologize for the things that we love, and we should never feel like we have to apologize for the things that we hate. But we should always feel like we have the liberty and the community to talk about it. Because
The Predator was shit.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible. But there are people who like it, and that's okay.
And that's awesome.
But in my opinion, it's not great. But I think that we are lucky to live in a time where we can all basically, like as Peter from the Midwest has said so eloquently in the past, we're basically all kids sitting up at an all-night sleepover in our parents' basements as children, watching sci-fi horror movies and unable to sleep because of the beautiful nightmares that we're having.
Yeah.
And I think that we're at our, and those are some of the most vitriolic arguments I've had in my life, talking about whether, like whether or not 28 Days Later is as scary as I thought it was. And, somebody tell me that it's not. And then we get into a big argument, and you know what I mean? Like those conversations are what draw me to movies and to community building in the first place. And I think that the more we can foster those conversations, the better we'll be as a community.
You know what? One thing too that I was thinking about, I've struggled with loneliness over the course of the last year or so. Most of except for Dan, who is our partner in Shoulder of Orion, I don't have any local friends. And it's been very difficult for me to find community out here. But I feel like I'm reliving a lot of how I felt in the 80s growing up. I'm surrounded by all these friends. Like, if I could sit with you and Clara and Mike and Sean and Connor, one day we're going to do this, and just sit and shit,
Inga.
talk shit about Alien, and Inga for sure, and just love. I feel like I can log on or click into a chat and just have the greatest time, and we laugh and we talk about things that are happening. It is so much fun, and that is only because of the fandom that we belong to, and some of us disagree passionately about what we love and what we don't love, and have passionate opinions on what we think is good and what we think isn't good. Like, for instance,
like Covenant's a masterpiece.
Yeah, and it's dog shit. I'm kidding. It's not dog shit.
It's the greatest film ever.
No. But no, even still though, one thing is, we were talking about this earlier today in the chat, and I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. The reason I've come around a little bit on Covenant, and I appreciate it way more than I did, and I stopped writing it off, is because of you and because of Clara. And I was able to stop, get out of my own head, and realize, oh wow, okay, wait a minute, I do enjoy this. I do enjoy that. Let me rethink this. And now I can sit and watch the film and not be angry,
Which is pretty awesome at the end of the day.
It is pretty awesome. And
I love that feeling. I love learning from you guys. I love seeing why people I respect see things differently than I do, and figuring out why they do. And if you still don't agree with somebody, that's okay too. But it's fun to find other viewpoints out, because it takes you out of the prison of your own mind a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's just freaking great. And there's so much coming up that we're so excited about. 40 years.
40 years.
It's going to be a big one.
And we have our series, which is called what again? Our new series after 40 Miles.
The Forbidden Planet.
The Forbidden Planet. 40 Years of Alien. That's coming up next, and we're gonna be planning that and talking about that. That'll probably start sometime in late February or March, because we have a shit ton of. We might even be releasing a couple episodes, like 3 episodes a month on 40 Miles, just to kind of get through it.
I know.
Because
well, now that my ballet's done, I can fucking record all the time now. This is great. I feel like we have some catching up to do.
Totally. So, but whatever the case, we just wanted to kind of have a conversation, talk to you guys. Me and Patrick connect. We haven't really. He's been busy. It's been the holidays. We have New Year's coming up. It's just a busy time for all of us. But we wanted to kind of again say thank you for everyone who listens, who writes in, who's a part of Building Better Worlds, which is our group. If you don't know of our group, please join in. We'd love to have you. It's the best alien group on social media, or it's becoming. And just a shout out to Sean and Connor and Inga and Mike and Clara and Michael and Dave Gogol. Even though he's not formally a part of our family group, he will always be in his own way. He's going to be on our Queen episode part 2. It's going to be a fun episode that'll be releasing this coming week. So there's a lot to look forward to, and I'm excited.
Yeah. And Jamie, thank you for starting this thing, man.
For sure.
Seriously, thank you for giving us in fandom this wonderful platform and this wonderful experience. And thank you for taking a chance on me, fucking 41 episodes ago, and
we've done 41 episodes.
41
Probably
episodes.
even more than that because we've done minisodes here and
That's
there.
true. It's been well, also Shoulder of Orion too.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I just feel like what a journey this has been, and I can't wait to I can't wait till we have the 40th anniversary of Perfect Organism, the Alien Saga podcast.
Oh
And
my
we're
God.
fucking in
This
flying
is
cars.
Jaime Prater from. Just think about it. With Shoulder of Orion and Perfect Organism,
Transdimensional.
you and I have done probably 80 episodes together.
Yeah,
80,
at least,
80
yeah.
That's probably 85. No, it's probably more like the hours of it. It's probably more like 100 hours.
Yeah.
You and I have recorded 100 hours of podcast together.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next 1,000, man.
I know. It's crazy.
This has been great.
It's exciting. I'm so excited about 2019. There's a lot to look forward to. Hopefully I get a job in 2019 because I'm still unemployed if anybody's hiring in the Los Angeles area. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Happy New Year.